Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. It is June 2nd, 2021. We are starting off the month of June with the Intel drop. Well, we're one day in at this point, but yesterday and this morning has already been proven to be a crazy start to June. We've got some stuff popping off that I didn't expect, and is stuff that you definitely need to be thinking about or preparing for. Well, most of it. So, anyways, let's get right into the Intel. Remember to like and share these videos. We are just starting this new channel, so support really helps so we can try to get back up to at least somewhat the numbers we had before. I'm comfortable reporting to just you guys and the people who are here. You guys are my base, and I'm here for you, and I'm still doing these even though our numbers drop significantly. That's fine. I'm not doing this for hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I never was. So that's okay, but I want this message to reach as many people as possible. So let's get started. The biggest general point this week has probably been the JBS food halt. So JBS is a processing plant. They're like Tyson. They're like these big manufacturers of food, and they do the processing and all that stuff, and they got big plants. So there was a cyber attack on one of their plants, and I guess now all of their plants, supposedly from what I heard, have shut down now and aren't producing meat. Because of that, people and economists and all these people are now predicting that there's going to be meat shortages. We will see if this actually fleshes out. We had some of a scare of this last year. I would do the same things you would have done last year. If you last year wish you had bought, or if you did buy a chest freezer, or went and bought some extra meat, or learned how to can, I don't know. Whatever you did to prepare for the meat shortage last year, just do that this year. And if you didn't prepare for the meat shortage last year, maybe think about how you could stockpile a little more meat. So if there is a shortage, you can still continue to enjoy that lifestyle. Now, if you don't really care about having extra meat if there is a shortage, if it's not worth the effort to you, that's fine. For me personally, I'm not stockpiling a ton of meat. I'm not too worried, and if I have to remove fine meats from my diet, or I have to get less meat, or I'm forced to have certain types of meat because I can't pick the ones I like, that's fine. It doesn't worry me too much. But so JBS halts operations worldwide. This is an early report, so stuff has developed since then anyways. So that's probably the biggest story this week. NATO secretary says that NATO will restrict access to diplomats from Belarus to the NATO HQ. So that's it's ramping up. Feds say employers can require workers to get the. So this is a report that came out of the New York Post, and it looks like it's legit. Employers are allowed under federal law now to require the, which is something that I've been talking about for a while. I'm not into this game of it will never happen, because everything that I thought would not happen has happened. So I know people can say, no, it will never get to the point where they mandate you have to have this to work, but guess what? They also said that it would never get to the point where you'd have this to go on planes, or to do this, or to do that, or to go into stores, or to take this off, or any of that. And it's now gotten to that point. Yes, workers will require you to get this. Whether that's in a year or 2 years, I don't know. I'm predicting that will become the norm on a lot of companies. And I think we're going to quickly, now that the Fed has come out and talked about this, I think we're going to quickly start seeing a shift in sentiment towards this by companies. Amazon has bought Hollywood's MGM Studios. I was talking about this, I think, 2 days ago with Jeff Bezos. He has bought MGM Studios. Amazon devices will soon automatically share your internet with neighbors. So this is a new piece of software that's going to be released to Amazon devices. And what this allows to happen is if your neighbor's internet goes down for some reason, they and their devices will connect instead to your internet until theirs comes back up. This creates a better community because if someone's internet goes down, other community members can help them out. However, there's some pretty massive security concerns with this. And aside from a lot of other things, there's some stuff that's a little bit, this needs to be more well thought out. So, Japan asked Olympics fans for to have the testing for that. And there's no eating, drinking, or cheering at games. At that point, why would you even go? Just a question. I don't get why you would go. Man, 28, is arrested for planning a terror attack at a Texas Walmart. I've read this in depth. I believe it is a massive false flag. If you look at this guy and look into him and look at the articles that they've included about him, he's got a lot of American stuff, and then he's got some German stuff, and then he's got some Saudi stuff, some Islamic stuff. I'll tell you this. American, German, and Islamic do not go together. I have done some research into the people who would do these kinds of things, or what they would label as terrorists, homegrown terrorists. I've done some research into that. The chances that this guy is a supporter of the Confederacy, of the Nationalist Socialist Party, of Islamic revolutionaries, is very, very low. I'll tell you that right now. It's pretty low. Then again, he may just be a supporter of revolution and support any of these people. I don't necessarily think the Confederacy was revolution, but what I will say is this screams false flag. Especially when you look at the weapons that he was arrested with. He's got some semi-automatic handguns. He's got it looks like an AR-15, a black scary gun. He's got some banned books. It's just he fits the exact role of the kind of person they're looking for. Exactly. And this is very easy to advance. Now, this could be real. I'll give you that. It could totally be real. But for me, when I look at this, I've seen a lot of this stuff before. It looks like a false flag. Am I allowed to say that? It looks like an FF. I don't think I'm allowed to say that. Anyways. Ex-FBI agent 62 is charged after he conned a Texas woman out of $800,000 by convincing her she was, I think it was, the article cuts off, I'm not going to click on it, but convincing her of something that she owed. So, this FBI agent stole $800,000. Now, it's an ex-FBI agent, but still, I don't necessarily trust law enforcement too much in generalities. Just because of stuff like this. And I don't know, maybe I don't know. It's just a little weird. Joe Biden's DHS may bring deported people back into the U.S. Well, that's just wonderful. Copper prices have surged to a record high above $10,000 a ton in May due to various growths and issues. So there's been a significant surge in copper prices. That could have been predicted. I predicted that last year. I didn't even know how to get into copper, so I haven't been into copper that much. But if there was a metal that I was stockpiling in mass, it would be copper. Probably even over silver, just because copper has so much use, and I believe that that there's a lot more opportunity to actually do stuff with that copper. Anyways, that's my opinion on that. I really like copper. That being said, I don't have any. I should probably get some. That might be a good idea. Noose reported on college campus turns out to be a U.S. flag on a construction crane. Another hate crime diverted. So Russia's put out a statement saying that relations with the former Soviet Union republics are a priority. We thought this was the case for a couple months now regarding the whole Russia aggression thing. It appears like they're trying to take back what was formerly part of the Soviet Union and create a new Soviet Union. That appears what's going on. So, CDC is closely tracking the first case of bird flu in large Asian nation. Great. We may have another crazy world situation. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis signs a bill banning transgender females from girls and women's sports on the first day of Pride Month. Guys, Florida just becomes more and more appealing. Sometimes I wish I was there. It's just more and more appealing. OSHA has suspended the requirement for employers to report related injuries. I didn't even know that was a requirement, but I guess it was. Now the requirement has been suspended, so there's no need for that. Because as we know, things are just getting safer. So why would you need to report something like that happening? Why would you ever need to do that? West Virginia is offering guns as prizes for the lottery in their state. All right, sure. I don't need to report on that now that new news has emerged. Biden has made a statement saying terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today. Not ISIS, not Al Qaeda. All right. All right. I'm not going to go into detail on that because I'll start to talk about my beliefs on that subject, and then YouTube really won't like me. So let's just say that Biden is wrong. All right. Biden and Harris announced push to make military more diverse and to fly pride flags at the U.S. embassies around the world for this month of June. Great. Wonderful. By the way, I'm declaring June as I think someone else did this too, as Christian month. It's the month of Christianity, and we're going to worship God like nothing else and forget that Pride Month even exists, because in my mind it doesn't. New York Times reporter claims Trump is telling close allies he will be reinstated by August. I have seen this report out of New York Times. It's from someone that has a very, very, very bad track record. And this is most likely just fake news being spread to discredit him and spread crap about his name and to get clicks. These New York Times people have realized that, hey, nobody wants to listen to us because our newspaper's a piece of garbage. So they have to make up stuff to get clicks. People click for Trump. That's why he was such a big media topic when he was president. So now they got to bring up stuff like he's going to be reinstated, because they've realized that if they can draw I won't say that. If they can draw people into the Trump supporters and people who are interested in that kind of drama, they'll get a lot more clicks. That's why they're posting on this stuff. It's not real. He's not saying this. There's no evidence to support that. This random New York Times reporter with a horrible track record just jumped up and said, Trump is saying to his suspicious. No sources, nothing. It's just ridiculous. The Pentagon has completed up to 44% of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. And already we've seen the Taliban going crazy. And ISIS and Al Qaeda. Hawaii has launched Harmony. Hawaii is the, or it's Huawei? Huawei? I don't know. It's the big, large Asian nation developer of cell phones and computers. They do a lot over there. They've launched Harmony. It's a self-developed operating system for smartphones because this company could no longer use Google, and I guess maybe Apple too, but they could no longer use Google services on their devices, so there's a U.S. trade ban on that, so they had to switch over, and now they have their own operating system. And my last intel point, the next most important one. Iranian Navy ship has sunk off the Gulf of Oman. It's the biggest ship in their Navy. Still unclear why there was a fire or an explosion on it. I think I know exactly what happened. I'll just say it. I think it's Israel. Iran was supplying weapons to Israel's enemies. Israel's enemies were attacking Israel. Israel says, how can we stop them from attacking us? So now we could go after the threat, which they did, but we could also go after the suppliers. And that's what they did. I'm just getting a report now of a couple minutes ago that the oil refinery in Tehran, Iran, is also on fire. So, this is kind of popping off. Well, not popping off. Things have been popping off for a while. It's just, it's pretty clear at this point that, in my opinion, that there was some foul play in this. Not just some random, our biggest warship that was currently being deployed just sunk. No, that's not what happened. This was, don't believe we don't know what happened. No, we know what happened. It's pretty clear. Anyways, I will leave it at that. That is the intel drop. The main point I'll probably put as the title is the JBS meat shortage, just because that is still an ongoing threat. I don't think the effect is going to be that bad yet, considering 1/5 of the U.S. meat supply has been taken down. So we'll get some shortages. But if you're at the store and 1 out of the 5 meat packets aren't there, yes, it'll have some effect. Is it going to be something you need to freak out? Go get your rifle. It's the end of the world. No, not at all. Maybe you want to buy an extra freezer and stockpile some more meat. Hey, if you are a meat lover, sure, that may be a really prudent and common sense thing to do. If you're not, please don't panic. This is not the end of the world. What it is telling you is that attacks on the global supply structure and meat suppliers is only going to increase, as predicted by our friend at the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, who famously said that we are probably going to have cyber attacks bigger than the last issue that happened last year regarding the cough cough. You know what I'm talking about. Now that's a crazy statement to make because that incident was huge and is still ongoing. For him to say that cyber attacks could be bigger than that, and the power and influence he has, that's the biggest threat on my horizon. Cyber attacks. Because it's been predicted by these people to happen. When these people say something's going to happen, like the pandemic, generally it happens. I'm just a little bit concerned about that. So, that's the Intel Drop this morning. Thank you guys for being here. Update on the Odyssey channel. Apparently you can't have an Odyssey channel unless you have 300 subscribers or more. My old channel, I made my Odyssey when I was at like 1.5 thousand. So that was easy. On this channel, we're not at 300. So as soon as I get to 300, we will have the Odyssey up. If you guys are inclined to help us get to 300, please share this channel. Send it to people who you think may benefit from this information. I really do appreciate it. It helps us grow, helps us get this message out to more people. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you later. I will be posting probably after this video some footage of the incidents regarding the Iranian ships and the oil refinery. So, see you guys later. Thank you for watching.